Welcome guys. In this lesson we are going to look at some questions from additional mathematics paper 1 for the year 2023 for the internals. So question 1 reads the points A and B are negative 6,4 and negative 2,7 respectively. Find the equation of the perpendicular line to the line AB through the point B, right? So maybe let me see if I can create a picture. So we have this line. This is our line AB. Now we have a perpendicular line passing through point B. So perpendicular simply means it is cutting the line AB at 90 degrees. So this is our perpendicular. Now the question is finding the equation of this perpendicular. So what are we supposed to do? We are going to find the gradient of line AB, and I will consider this one as gradient 1. So let's find the gradient of line AB. So A will have negative 6,4, B negative 2,7, x1, x2, y1, y2. Now let's find the gradient. So gradient is y2 minus y1 over x2, x1. So y2 is 7, subtracted 4, so it's 7 minus 4. Then the other part will be negative 2 minus 6. So 7 minus 4 will give us a 3 minus 2. Negative times negative is positive 6, which is 3 over negative 2 plus 6 will give us 4. So our gradient for the first line AB is 3 over 4. Now, how can we find the gradient of the line which is perpendicular to the line AB? So I'm just going to flip the numbers. So gradient 2 will be 4 over 3. That's a pattern. Then apart from that, you change the sign. So this is positive, then this one will be a negative. So this is the gradient that I'm going to use for this line. Now remember, the coordinates for B is negative 2,7, and this are the coordinates that I'm going to use since we are told it is through the point B. So we'll say now y minus y1 is equal to gradient, open brackets, x minus x1. So from this, we are going to call this one as x1, y1. So I'm going to say y minus y1 is 7. That's our gradient. 4 divided by 3, negative 4 divided by 3, x1 is negative 2. Then y minus 7 is equal to negative 4 divided by 3. So negative times negative is positive 2. Now to get rid of the fraction, I'm going to multiply everything by 2. So number 1, 2 times y is 2y. Number 2, 2 times negative 7 is negative, this should not be by 2. So I'm going to multiply by the denominator of our gradient, so 3. So 3 times y is 3y. Negative 7 times 3 is negative 21. Then negative times 3, so the 3 will cancel, giving us negative 4. Then x plus 2. So it's easy to solve it if you get rid of the fraction. So 3y minus 21 is equal to negative 4 times x is negative 4x. Negative 4 times positive 2 will give us negative 8. Then I will collect the like terms, so I'm going to shift this to this side, then this to this side, giving us 3y plus 4x is equal to, we're going to have negative 8 plus 21, which is our final answer is 3y plus 4x is equal to 21 minus 8 is 13. So this is our final answer. Right, so we move on to question 2, solve the simultaneous equations. So we have two equations. So the first one, I'm going to consider this as my equation 1. Then in the second one, this will be equation 2. Now from the equation 1, we are going to make x the subject of formula because it's easy to make x instead of y. Y will involve fractions which may make the question to be long. So let's make x the subject of the formula. Then we are going to substitute that into equation 2. So x plus 2y is equal to 1. So to make x the subject of formula, I'm going to shift positive 2y to the right side, giving us x is equal to 1 minus 2y. Now I'm going to take this equation and substitute it where there is x. So this will be open brackets 1 minus 2y squared plus y squared is equal to 2. So I need to now expand 1 minus 2y multiplied by 1 minus 2y plus y squared is equal to 2. So we are going to use now the algebra. So the 1 will multiply with the 1. So 1 times 1 is 1. The second one will say 1 times negative 2, which will give us negative 2y. We move on to the other pair. So this will be negative 2y times 1, giving us negative 2y. Then negative 2y times negative 2y, giving us positive 4y squared plus y squared is equal to 2. So these two can be added, they are like terms. So negative 2y minus 2y is negative 4y. Negative 4y. Then plus also these two can be added. 4y squared plus 4y squared is 5y squared plus this one minus 2. Minus 2, if we take the 2 to the left side, will become negative 2 is equal to 0. Now the remaining part is, I'm going to begin with the one with a squared. So 5y squared minus 4y plus 1 minus 2 is negative 1 is equal to 0. So we formed a quadratic equation. So you can use the method of your choice to solve the quadratic equation. You can use the formula, you can use factorization. Now I'm going to use factorization to solve this one. So I'm going to say 5y squared minus 4y minus 1 is equal to 0. So I need to find the product. So the product is a times c, which is our a. A is the coefficient of y squared, b is this one, c is that one. So 5 multiplied by negative 1 must be equal to negative 5. Then sum. So sum is just the coefficient of y, which is negative 4. Then the factors. So for the factors, for prime numbers, numbers with the two factors, the 1 and the number itself, the factors is 1 and the number. So in our case, 1 and 5 will be the factors, but we are going to put negative to the bigger number since the sum is negative. So now let's proceed. We have 5y squared minus 5y plus 1y, which is, we'll just say y, minus 1 is equal to 0. So I'm going to factorize. Now, maybe to make work easy, I'm going to say 5 times y minus 5 times 5, not 5 times should be y, times 1. So I've just expanded these parts. You see the reason why I've done that. Then plus, so the common factor on this one, this is same as 1 times y. Then this is same as negative 1 times 1 is equal to 0. So what is common from the first part? So 5 is common. What else is common? Y is common, which simply means that 5y open bracket. So if we get rid of this, we have y remaining. If we get rid of this, we have 1. So let's check here what is common. So from this part, 1 is common. So if we take out 1, the remaining is y minus 1, which is equal to 0. So I'm going to combine the two. So 5y plus 1, then y minus 1 is equal to 0. Then we are going to equate each factor equal to 0. So say 5y plus 1 is equal to 0. So if we shift this, we have 5y is equal to negative 1. So we divide by 5, also by 5. So y is equal to negative 1 over 5. Then the other one will be y minus 1 is equal to 0. So if we shift, y is equal to positive 1. So we've managed to find the values of y. Now we need to find the values of x. Let me first create some spaces here. Right, so to find the value of x, I'm going to use the same equation that we made x the substitute formula. So this time, let's find the x when y is equal to negative 1 over 5. So is equal to, so where there is y, I'm going to substitute with this. So negative 2 times negative 1 will give us positive 2 over 5. So this is a fraction. Now to simplify, I'm going to get this number multiplied by the top part. So I'm going to say 5 times 1 over 5. So 5 times 1 is 5 over 5 plus 2 over 5, giving us 5 plus 2 is 7 over 5. And let's also find the other value of x. So say x is equal to minus 1 minus 2y, which is x is equal to 1 minus, what's our y this time? Is 1. So x is equal to negative 1. So this is how we can solve this equation. We have question 3. Find the values of k for which the line x plus y is equal to k is a tangent to the curve x squared plus xy is equal to y squared plus 5. Right, so we have two equations. So we'll have x plus y is equal to k. Then the other equation is x squared plus xy is equal to y squared plus 5. So for this one, I'm going to make y the subject of the formula. Right, so let's make y the subject of the formula so that we get rid of the y. So I'm going to shift x to the right side, giving us y is equal to k minus x. So this, I'll say, is my equation 1. Then we get the equation 2, which is for the curve x squared plus xy is equal to y squared plus 5. So where there is y, I'm going to substitute k minus x. So let's do this. X squared plus x, open brackets, k minus x is equal to y squared, should be, so is equal to k minus x squared plus 5. So I'm going to expand this side, the left side. So this will be x times k, then x times negative x. So I'm going to get x squared plus x times k is kx. X times negative x will be negative x squared. Then here I'm going to have k minus x times k minus x plus 5. So let's expand that. So I have x squared. So this can be just cancelled. If you look at this, we can cancel this. We can say x squared minus x squared. This will be cancelled, giving us kx is equal to k times k is k squared. Then k times the negative x will be negative kx. Negative x times k is negative kx. Negative x times negative x will be x squared plus 5. Then we need to shift the expression to one side so that we see what we have here. So let's shift this side. So if we shift, we are going to have 0 is equal to k squared plus 5. Then we are going to have negative kx, negative times negative minus negative we add, which is giving us negative 2kx plus x squared, which is 0 is equal to k squared plus 5. So if we add now, these will give us negative 3kx plus x squared. Now at this point, I'm going to introduce the discriminant, so which is b squared minus 4s is equal to 0. Now from this discriminant, I'm going to call this part as my c, then this one will be called my b, then the coefficient of x squared is still a. So let's do that. What's our b? Our b is this value here, which is negative 3k squared minus what's our a? A is the number in front of x squared, which is 1. What's our c? C is k squared minus plus 5. Then it must be equal to 0. So if we square negative 3k times negative 3k will give us negative 9k squared. Then negative 4 times 1 is negative 4 times k squared is negative k squared. Then negative 4 times positive 5 is negative 20, which is equal to 0. So at this point, I can add these two numbers, then we shift negative 20 to the right side. So 9k squared minus 4k squared will give us 5k squared is equal to, then this will become positive 20. So we divide by 5, also here by 5. So k squared is equal to 4. Then I'm going to introduce the square root here, the square root here. So k is equal to plus or minus 2 as our answer. Right, so we move on to question 4. The functions f and h are defined by f of x is equal to ax plus 6 over x, where x cannot equal 0, and h of x is equal to x plus 1 over x minus 3, where x cannot equal to 3. Find h squared of x. So this expression is same as the h of x. So we are simply finding the composite function. Right. Now, how can we proceed with this? So where there is h, where there is this h, this part, I'm going to write the first function, which is x plus 1 divided by x minus 3. Now, since it's a composite function, where there is x, I'm going to substitute with this expression, and I'm going to do the same to the denominator part. Where there is x, we put this part here. So that's a concept behind this question. So let's do that. So begin, where there is x, we put, so this will be x plus 1 over x minus 3 plus 1 divided by x plus 1 over x minus 3 minus 3. Now, to make this make sense, I'm going to write to deal with this part as a fraction. So we say it's over 1. We need to find the lowest common denominator. So for the first part, the lowest common denominator is just x minus 3. So x minus 3 into x minus 3, this will be this and this cancel, giving us 1. So it's 1 times x plus 1 plus 1, then this will be 1 into this one will just be x minus 1. Or the key point is you just like cross multiply. So this will multiply with this one, this will multiply with this one. So that's a concept. So let's see if we can expand. So x plus okay, let me do this, divided by, so this division is this line here. So the other part is, I'm going also to do the same. So the lowest common denominator is still x minus 3. Then I'm going to do the same. So this will be 1 times x plus 1 minus 3 x minus 3. Alright, so here we have x plus 1. 1 times x is just plus x. 1 times negative 1 is negative 1 over x minus 3 divided by, so 1 times x is x, 1 times 1 is just 1. Negative 3 times x excuse me, is negative 3x. Negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9 over x minus 3. So I can just cancel these. It's 1 minus 1 is just 1. Then x plus x will give us 2x over x minus 3 divided by, we have these two are like terms. So negative 3x plus x is negative 2x plus 1 plus 9 is just 10 divided by x minus 1. Then we are going to change this operator into multiplication. So we'll keep the first fraction just the way it is. So if we do this, then this part will go on top, giving us x minus 3 over negative 2x plus 10. So we can see that we can cancel this. So if we cancel this, we're remaining with 2x over negative 2x plus 10. Sorry, I've just seen one mistake. This should be negative 3. So if this is negative 3, then this also should be negative 3. So negative 3, then here we are supposed to have negative 2. So negative 2, and also here negative 2. Okay, so let's clear some space. So at this point, we can just simplify our answer, which is we can take out, we can factorize the upper part. So 2 is common, open brackets, we have x minus 1 divided by, then below 2 is also common, so we take out 2, open brackets, so we're going to have negative x plus 5, so that I can cancel this. My final answer is x minus 1 divided by negative x plus 5. So this is how we can answer this question. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching.